Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. CLAUDIE Jefferson.
It's a trip trying to find your soulmate. It's 1994. I'm 34 years old. I'm in the United States Navy, stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois. I just get divorced from my wife after 13 years of marriage. I never wanted to get divorced. I remember my parents got divorced when I was 12 years old. And it was tough because my family got separated at that time. I met my wife when I was 19 years old. I had just left home in Detroit, joined the Navy, and got stationed in Orlando, Florida. I was 19 years old. She was 21. She blew my mind. She was beautiful. We had sex everywhere. The backseat of cars, park benches, you name it. We got married 2 years later, and we got stationed in places like Norfolk, Virginia, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and Great Lakes, Illinois. She cheated on me in all those places. I was devastated, and I was angry. We had a daughter together, for God's sakes. Excuse me. I needed to get away. We had a daughter together, and I took my daughter to Detroit, Michigan. I needed to be near my family so I can get some support. I remember one night, my cousin picked me up. He wanted to take me out to make me forget about things. We went out to a club. We went to go in the club, and we had jeans on. We couldn't get in the club because of a dress code. So we started seeing these women just marching past us, and they were beautiful. I told my cousin, man, we have to get in this club. He just happened to stay nearby. We went to his place, changed clothes, came back to the club. We go in, and I was in heaven. The lights were low, the music was bumping, and there was women everywhere. I think I forgot about my divorce. I started cruising around the room, and I walked up to this woman from behind. She had short red hair, and I asked her to dance. We get on the dance floor. She seemed to be a little older, in her mid-50s. I was 34. And she looked at me and she said, "You're not from around here, are you?" I said, "No, ma'am, I was..." I was born here and raised, but I'm presently in the United States Navy, and I'm stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois. And she told me, "You need to meet my daughter." So I walked her back to her table, and her daughter just happened to be there with her, and she introduced us. We talked, and I walked them to their car. I got her number. She had 2 kids, and I had my daughter there also. We exchanged numbers, and we decided we were going to take the kids on a date. We ended up going to Boblo Island. We hit it off, and we decided we were going to try dating long distance. And we were going to try to go each month to visit each other. So we did that for about 10 months. The kids got along great, and so did we. After 10 months, I decided I was going to ask her to marry me. So I bought a ring. I bought what I could afford. It was a nice ring, but it had a very small diamond. I set up a reservation in a really nice restaurant when she was scheduled to come visit me in Chicago. When she arrived there, we checked into the hotel and we decided to go sightseeing. We ended up going to the mall. And her intuition must have kicked in because she wanted to go into a jewelry store. We go into the jewelry store and she's looking at these really beautiful rings, very expensive, with humongous diamonds. And I got this diamond ring in my pocket. We had to make it to the restaurant, and we decided, we ordered something to eat, and I was a nervous wreck. I just couldn't bring it upon myself to give her this ring. So we finished our dinner, and we walked back to the car to go back to the hotel. I was so nervous that when I backed out, I backed into a car. What else could go wrong? Luckily, there was no damage. We go to the hotel, and I did ask her to marry me. She accepted, and she loved the ring. The following month, I went to visit her, and I couldn't wait to take her to see my mom. We get to the house. My mom comes out and gives us both a big hug of congratulations. She grabbed her hand, looked at the ring, and said, "Son, where's the diamond?" Thanks, Mom. We eventually get married, and I move her and the boys back to Illinois to finish out my final year before I retire from the Navy. It's 1996. We moved back to Michigan, buy a house in Detroit. We were happy. Things were great. We were so happy, we damn near christened every room in the house, including the dryer. Our daughter was born the following year. Times were good. The first 8 years of our marriage were happy years. Nothing could go wrong. In our second 8 years of marriage, things just went awry. It was like Jekyll and Hyde. We stopped sleeping together. There was no sex. Bills were mounting. And things just started going all wrong. We stopped talking. We had mortgage, 2 cars, our kids were in private school, and mounting debt. Time went on and we just tried to work through things and tried to keep talking, to no avail. We were running the house like a business, trying to get out of debt. The kids got older and so did we. It's 2010 and I turned 50 years old and things still weren't getting better. I decided that I couldn't take it anymore. I'm 50 years old and I'm not gonna live my life like this much longer. I wasn't happy, and I told my wife. We kept trying to pull things together, went into the following year, and it still wasn't getting better. So I decided to go to the bank, pull some money out, and open up my own savings account. By then, she got the message that I was serious. And in March of 2011, she and my daughter moved in with her mom. Our kids were in the second and third year of college, and our daughter was in high school. But I was left with all the mounting debt and the house. So I had to figure out what I was going to do to get out of this. It took me 3 years to get out of debt and to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I had been dating off and on through that time. I tried Match.com, speed dating, to no avail. It just wasn't working out for me. I continued dating. I ended up meeting women through friends and co-workers. I met women who had been out of relationships 5, 10, 12 years. They would come and tell me, if you're going to date me, you better be ready to get married in a couple years. I wasn't quite ready for that. I wasn't ready for marriage. I had just gotten divorced 3 years prior to that. I needed a little bit more experience. A buddy of mine went through some of the same things I did. He tried all the dating websites. He ended up finding his soulmate. They dated. She never put him under any pressure. And they got married 2 years later. They just got married this year in Cancun, and I went to the wedding. A soulmate to me is someone you can lean on for strength at your weakest moments. Someone that when you look into their eyes, you know you're in love. They'll follow you through anything, regardless the obstacle. I'm still searching for my soulmate. Hell, I'm 57 years old. I'm still trying to find myself. Maybe I'm my soulmate.
CLAUDIE Jefferson, ladies and gentlemen.